Jason, can you send me the screen in Zoom or whatever? I don't see it. Another wedding film school live. It is Thursday. It is noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all for being here today. I am joined once again by Jay. Jay,
What's
how's
up,
it going?
dude? Sorry, I turned the wrong knob up. But
That's
now,
okay.
now the
It
right one is up.
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Little back end here for me and Jay. Jay, I cannot see anything other than myself in suit, if that is relevant to something
Ah,
that has also happened on your end.
ah.
With that said, let's go over just a little bit of what we do here on Wedding Film School Live. And I mentioned in the chat already, we're gonna try switching things up a little bit. We thought it might be relevant, might be interesting to talk just a little bit, spend the beginning of these streams as we let people trickle in and whatnot as a community talking about just some industry news, right? What's new? What are we seeing? Is there new gear? Is there a new trend? Is there this, that, the other thing, what have you? So yeah, we're gonna try that out today. And then we're gonna dive into film reviews like we always do. And when we do those, guys, we are looking to just build you up as filmmakers, help you with some constructive criticism as much as we can. So we're going to watch your film. If you are a member, which means you pay us $5 a month, we're going to review your whole film, well, up to 5 minutes of it. And then if you are not a member, we'll still review your film. We'll do up to 2 minutes of it. We're going to talk about things that we like, things we think you did well, things that we see as your strong points as a wedding filmmaker. And then the flip side, things that we think you could improve on, kind of those big impact, right? Going into your next wedding, what is the one thing you should focus on? So that's kind of the format. Yeah, but I guess, Jay, what's new? It's another week.
It's another week in wedding filmmaking world, and I have no idea why you can't see anything because I didn't stop the video and I can see the video. So, but things are good. I'm in the middle of a busy wedding season, as I'm sure many of you are.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I did some really interesting work this year as a wedding filmmaker that I've never done before. So in terms of in terms of just definitely making it look, kind of doing some stuff that's blurring the lines between wedding filmmaking and commercial filmmaking, and it's been really interesting. We talked about it last week. I did a job for a wedding planner and a tent company. And
Dave, if you thought like 10 years ago, did you ever think to yourself, you know what I'm going to highlight in my 2023 season? A video for a tent company.
Well, was
that like on your bingo card?
No, and it's one of those things. What's really interesting is like when we went to the company, they were like, we want like a wedding video.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be shot a certain way, and we did a really complicated release with the wedding planner. There's like a day one drop. I edited the film at the wedding to drop it for 8 a.m. the next day because it was a big industry event in our area. So we dropped a little 15-second stinger the next morning, and then later in the week we did a video for the tent company, which did a bunch of time lapse and all that stuff. And then this isn't just like a normal tent, guys. By the way, it's basically like it takes 8 days to install. It's a spanless tent. It has no poles in it. It's totally see-through. You can make it all glass, and they can put an air conditioner in the floor. It's like a semi-permanent structure.
It's the tent to end all tents.
Head over to Huxley Film, Huxley_film on Instagram if you want to see the film we did. But that film did really well. Like it's crazy. Me and the wedding planner, we did a collab on that, and we have like 2,000 likes and like 30,000 plays, and some very big industry people are like, oh, this is cool. The film we made for the wedding planner, I was like, I wasn't even supposed to shoot portraits, Bobby, but I'm like, I got to get some. So I'm like sneak in and try to get a couple portraits because we wanted it to look like a wedding film. But what's interesting is we're skipping toasts. We didn't go to the ceremony. No getting ready.
Oh, yeah.
We just did like the moments. I was like, we're going to get the processional, the recessional. We're going to like get some certain push shots. It was like really interesting because we're using all our commercial skills, but our knowledge of weddings.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
A nice blend.
I have no idea what's going on with this display, by the way, Bobby. So at one point I might just go solo for a minute and have you restart
You do you.
the Zoom meeting. But I think we could get started with what do you want to do? Good news, bad news first, Bobby.
Ooh, let's do good news.
All right.
Start on the right foot.
Yes, let's start on the right foot. So, how many of you guys are excited about the all new DJI Air 2? Because I know, or 3, not me. I'm not excited about the Air 2.
Because that's old news.
It's also, I didn't really think that drone was very good, personally.
I don't think I ever used it. It's funny for me because, we're going to talk about the Air 3. It's new. It's hot. Is it good enough? Can we use it at weddings? Right. I know we're going to see these comments for like the next year. Like, oh, I could spend, what is it? What's the Mavic 3 Pro? Is it $4,000 or something?
I think it's like $3,000 for like the
$3,000, but if you want
the
it to
fly
shoot
more,
ProRes,
the fly more,
it's like
and
4K.
Yeah,
5K
something like that. It's, I think it's certainly worth it for a lot of people. But anyway, yeah, this is the Air 3 drone.
Yeah. So what it's going to do is a bunch of people are going to say, well, like this has 2 lenses. This shoots 4K 60. This has 48 megapixel camera photos, right? So like, why do I need to spend double this for the Mavic 3 Pro? Is this good enough for a wedding? Look, I have not used it. DJI, if you're listening, contact us. We'd love to be on your preferred list.
Yes.
The answer I can just tell you, whether it's better or worse than any other thing, which it will be, right? It will be better than some things, worse than some things. Yes, I'm sure you could use this at a wedding. I mean, we were using people have used the original Air at a wedding, right? So it can only be better.
I personally think that the sensor, based on what, Brandon, is the sensor on the Air 3 worse than the Air 2? I don't know where
I don't know specs of the Air 2. I haven't used any of the Air.
You should pull up all the pre-pro documents I sent you over.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have those. I'm just saying, like, I've never used it.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to look up.
I sent you a comparison, but if you look
I saw that.
Right here, if you look right here. So, like, I don't think that they're worse. I think that, objectively, this is a better sensor. The Air 2S.
Ooh, this is what I want to see, with you.
Yeah, so we got a 1-inch sensor and a 1. They're
the bigger sensor in the Air 3.
Mm-hmm. And so this is what I'll encourage you guys to do. First of all, I have a Mavic 2 Pro. I don't have the Mavic 3 Pro. But
same.
The fact that
because I'm cheap,
I shoot with the Mavic. I still think, to me, the Mavic 2 looks better than the Air 2.
Well, I think it's meant to, isn't it? I mean,
well, it must be.
Well, actually, maybe eventually the lower tier will surpass like the middle tier, and then they'll. In
terms of image quality, the thing I've always noticed about the Air 2 is it has the most crushed blacks. They're so crushed, and you'll see in the comparison video I posted, he does some direct footage comparisons between the Air.
I saw that, yeah.
And like, it's not even a comparison compared to like the dynamic range on the Air 3 versus the Air 2. I really honestly think it's going to kill it. Now, I don't know if the video resolution on the Air 3, I was looking at trying to figure out if the Air 3 does not do the 5.3.
Like the down sampled?
Yeah, because I don't really care about 4K 60 on the drone.
I don't either.
Like,
I know some people do. I'm sure there's scenarios where it makes sense. For me, for a wedding, I don't care.
Yeah, it's
if I were doing like motocross.
True. Yeah, I mean, I personally would rather have a more resolution than more frame rate in terms of aerial filmmaking. But I gotta say, the A has more effective pixels, which I think is nice, especially for if you're doing photography. The thing that I am most excited about is I love that 70 millimeter lens.
See, that's where I'm okay. So, like, one thing, look, we're wedding filmmakers, right? We have a running list of gear that we're like, oh, I kind of want to get this. Near the top of my list is the Mavic 3 Pro. I used it briefly. There was a beautiful image. I love my Mavic 2 Pro. I still haven't upgraded because I don't want to spend 4 grand or whatever it is. But man, those different lenses are something I really want to play with.
If you've ever done one of their dolly zoom gimbal pushes, like
yeah,
using one of those lenses, which I'm not sure if the Pro has it. You can tell me in the chat if it has. I remember one of them, the Zoom, the Air Zoom or whatever, had a dolly zoom function. Let me know in the chat if the Mavic 3 Pro has a dolly zoom function. Similar.
gotta imagine it does, but I guess I don't know.
And so yeah, I would say, I mean, based on this, the sensor is not smaller though, Brandon. They're the same.
Yeah, it definitely looks.
And one's bigger. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the lenses are great. And
Well, it's just it kind of opens it opens the door. I mean, obviously we've seen it in other models, but it does. It opens the door to more creative shots, a more interesting aerial look, like an aerial. What's the zoom on? Like a 75 millimeter on the Mavic
70
3
mil.
Pro.
I
70,
thought
is that
it,
the same on this
I
too?
thought they had the similar lens. I'm not totally sure.
You might be right. So maybe they're both 70, but like that's a much different perspective from the air.
No,
And
I mean,
so,
the
yeah, it's
compression
just
you're
opening
getting,
the door
the
for
whooshiness on the
Yeah.
parallax, it looks. So, especially if you're a person, this is what I'll say. If you're a person who's interested in doing portrait work with a gimbal, I mean, with a drone, I mean, it has a gimbal, but with a drone. Sorry, I've been fixing a gimbal on a drone all week, so I've been talking about drone gimbals a lot. If you're interested in doing that, I think it really, really, really makes a big difference. If you already have a Mavic 3 Pro, I don't see why this would be a big deal unless for travel. But honestly, if you're like, you've got like an entry-level drone or a really old drone, and you are looking to upgrade, I think $1,500 for the Fly More pack, I think this is a awesome offering. Like I was feeling like a while like they're having a lot of like kind of middling options that aren't that great, and then they have this great drone. Like I have a bunch of their smaller ones. They're fine. I like them on a pinch, but like this is kind of what I was looking for like a lot of wedding situations where you just got to get something up in the air quick. It doesn't need to be that big. You need
Plus, it's so small. Like,
it's for wedding situations where you just because I don't bring a drone to every wedding.
Yeah.
Like we're just kind of like pick our spots, but I
Well,
want to be able to keep it in my bag.
weddings, yeah.
Keep it in your bag.
Well, that's the thing. This is like the Mavic 2 Pro, although so small, right? And the Mavic 3 Pro for that matter. So small, wonderful. Like changing from the Phantom to the Mavic line was huge, right?
Yes.
This is like
I was looking at my Phantom the other day. What's funny about those is like they don't have any of like the restrictions of the newer gimbals because they just don't have any of the technology. Which is why they have 14 apps.
For me, it was like its own backpack every time. And traveling with it, oh my gosh, was such a pain. So I got the Mavic. I love the size downgraded, but even now I'm like, it's like I could put it if I keep a backpack on me, I could keep it on me. But like I usually just keep a sling bag on me. I'm like, it's a little too big for that, or it would take up the whole thing. And so like the Air is kind of like.
I think this is going to be for the next couple years the first serious drone most wedding filmmakers buy who are new.
Yeah, I think due to features which I think are pretty good, image quality which is good, and the big thing being the price, right?
Yeah,
so,
like if you're
that's
looking
the
to
Fly More combo, which means if you don't need whatever 3 batteries,
you need 3
fancy
batteries.
case,
you need it.
Well, you know what I mean. Like
everyone needs
theoretically, you could get in cheaper.
Yeah, I think the issue is always like if you've ever used D-Cinelike, which is on the cheaper DJIs, that codec, it's not close to as good as D-Log. And the ability to shoot D-Log, which you're going to be getting on this Air 3, plus the extra lens, plus the extra, the long battery life. It's just really great. And I'm excited. I'm always excited when better stuff becomes accessible to people, who are like, they're getting started and they're like, instead of dropping $4,000 on a Mavic to get some of those features and also a newer drone, they're getting a lot of the features they would have got with the Mavic 3 Pro. Not everything.
A lot of the features that are important to them.
Yeah, but with a lot of really, really just a big savings. I think it's going to make better films. I want one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's more useful than, I don't know, an FPV drone.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure.
So
Also, Sean Cowell saying so the 70 mil. So on the Mavic 3 Pro, the 70 mil is the medium lens,
yes,
and
yeah.
166 is the long lens.
That's
Just
crazy.
imagine.
I mean, that's crazy. I would say you're so far away, so it's probably a lot easier to use. I honestly don't
that's cool,
remember like. I don't think I ended up really messing with the 166. I was with the one
I
the
never tapped into it when I was. I
mean,
don't think so. I think I flew it a little bit, but the guy I was shooting with, who was kind of my mentor, he flew it for a weekend for a multi-day wedding that I was helping him out with, and
but
it was the footage was great, but I don't think he went into the ones.
Anybody who has a Mavic 3 Pro in chat, can you do the dolly zoom feature? It
Let us know, Sean. We're leaning on you.
Yeah, like basically you'd like push you'd push in and it would like zoom out on one of the lenses and allow you to get like that Hitchcock kind of vibe. I love how it looks when you push in on a venue with that. It looks sick. And I don't know. I'm always
sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, guys.
But now it's time for the bad news.
The bad news. So
and then it's time for wedding films.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a wedding film in between if you want.
Should we?
Yeah, you want to do a quick wedding film?
Let's do that.
Let's do a quick little film. So, who is
just a quick little film?
Who's our first film today?
I gotta get there. Hold on one second.
I got
today, August 3rd. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is.
August 3rd. Also, Jay, we do have some extra submissions that I believe rolled in. FYI.
Oh, and can you see yet?
What?
Can you see the video yet?
Well, let's see. I do see which is best for you, your drone comparison thing, but I don't see a video. So this might be the Jason McCutcheon show. As far as
no. I can. If you can.
You
see
want
that,
me? Yeah, if I can see that, you got to be sharing something.
Yeah, if you can see that, you're good. So we're good.
We're good to go.
Good.
So up first we have Joshua spelled. Wait, is this spelled a little differently? H at the end. Yeah. Joshua Smith.
I'm not sure.
From Smithy Co.
Smithy
Co.film and shot on. Why is this like it's giving me like 2 letters per column.
Here,
shot on Blackmagic.
Let me fix this.
That's okay. That's okay. Blackmagic 6K Pros. Love that. Very interesting. See that with the 18-35 1.8 sigmas, also an awesome lens because that's a crop, right? So is that correct, Jay? So that's like a what 28 to 55.
It's like a 1.7 crop.
Oh, okay, so a little more. So it's maybe like a 30.
Actually, I could be wrong.
Or something.
I forget the Pro. Is the Pro full frame now? I don't
know. Who knows? All right. Zoom F6. Hey Jay, I just got the F3. Yes. I don't know why I thought you would want to know that, but I got it.
I'm excited about it. I'm really psyched that you got that.
I really, really like it. I just thought that you would be really amped for me. So I'm glad that we both are.
I'm proud of you.
And he used the deities, which we tested a long time ago. Not
Love
that
those.
But
I honestly, I use those for all my commercial work now.
Really?
Yeah, they're great.
They look awesome. This is kind of booked cheaply, is what he's saying. Shot 24 frames per second. Interesting that it was shot all 24 on the Blackmagic. I would think that you would do 60 because a lot of people do, but I'm very curious. I would love to know how he rigged this up and stuff. I think we might see if it was done well or not.
My new style and quality level. I wonder what that means.
Oh, it means you're shooting in 6K, bro. Just kidding. We'll see. Yeah, things to improve, but think it's solid. Let's do it.
Okay, here we are. Let's do, what do you think? The first minute and then decide what to do next. We're going to do definitely 2 minutes of the film, though.
Let's do it.
Lord God, I just want to thank you for just Nicole and the influence she's had on all of our lives, but mine in particular, because I have the personal experience with her and just the way she's been encouraging and been a role model all our lives, but especially for me in the last year. She's just truly inspired me and truly helped me grow in my faith and drew me closer to you, and I just love to see her and Zach's relationship flourish.
Lord, I just thank you so much for bringing us here together to celebrate.
Okay, I'm going to skip this prayer.
Lord, I just thank you so much.
Not because it's bad, but because I get it. They prayed. I'd like to get to, let's check out this first look.
soon as I see you, I cry.
Is that the dad? Is that the dad or
You
the
like my princess dress?
Show you. My
I
goodness.
love you.
That's dad. There's the Grom. All right, Bobby, how do you feel about waiting that long to introduce the groom?
That is, I would say it's a pet peeve of mine. It's hard to say like that is a mistake,
Yeah.
right? I think that's too harsh of a word. Also, I am doing I cannot, there's something going on with my Zoom. Like I can see this, but I can't pin it as the main thing. So I'm watching it in like the small gallery view. So I've been a little distracted with this. With that said, yeah, I think I personally, I know some people like to tease the couple and not really show them yet. I really do like starting with the couple. But like I kind of want to see him a little bit earlier, personally. But it's preference, I would say, more than that.
Okay, so they do a first look. Let's kind of skip that. They're probably like talking to each other and whatnot. And
Yeah.
you know how it goes.
Now
They're
that
talking.
father of 4 daughters, you may think I know a thing or two about living with women. So I recently heard someone describe it like this. Understanding women is like understanding why pizza is made in a circle, put in a
This
square
is a risky
box,
setup.
I'll say
and we eat it in triangles. So I hope that helps. I don't know.
that's not a very. It's so obvious why you eat it in triangles. Like that's not.
Sometimes I eat my pizza in squares.
Yeah, I like it that way too. But what other way would you cut it besides squares? and
Circles.
triangles? Yeah, cut it in circles.
We'd like to welcome each of you today.
So this is what I wanted to see.
Day
Look
has
at this.
Finally arrived. A beautiful God-ordained day for sure.
Hey, are we showing?
We're gathered.
I don't know if I'm just behind, but are we?
My
when I'm
program
I'm-
says that I am showing it.
I'm back end YouTube. I don't think we're like 5-10 minutes behind or whatever. And I'm seeing the which is best for you.
Yeah, that's.
So I go front end YouTube.
I would just say no. We are live. We're good.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
We're good. All right. So, looking at this, and I'm seeing the serious shake and the out of focusness and the camera in the back. I would say, having shot on Blackmagic a lot at weddings, you really got to practice that. Especially, this is a darkish room, although your lights are really overexposed. So I don't know there, but honestly, like I think you're a little too shallow to roll focus manually like that. And the thing people don't realize too, Bobby, is like when you're walking down an aisle, which maybe everyone probably realizes. I shouldn't say that people don't realize it, but when it's there's like this math involved when it's coming at you at an angle that it actually starts speeding up at the end. So you don't do a linear curve on your focus roll. You have to like roll it slower and then speed up your focus roll. That's a degree of difficulty, man. Like I always tell people, like you gotta practice a moment like this if
Yeah.
you're gonna try to do it totally manually. Because
I think this is I just feel like, okay, so I have shot a very little amount with the Blackmagic. And the reason I've shot a very little amount with them is because it was such a pain for weddings. And this to me screams somebody who is trying to do other stuff and then using that gear for weddings, or somebody who's like, oh, the cheapest, best camera, most bang for your buck is the Blackmagic, and use it for weddings. And I think using the Blackmagic is hurting their wedding performance.
I think if you want to use the Blackmagics, you need to be so intentional and honestly like a sick camera op.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, Blackmagic, awesome camera, like amazing image, especially for the price. right? All these pros, but
They're
a lot of cons.
They're a
too.
lot of fun to shoot with, but you have to like enjoy the struggle, and you have to be the type of person.
I mean, as with anything, you're giving something up. If you're like, oh man, I love that 6K image, it's so great. I love shooting to a hard drive, whatever. Like whatever it is that you love, I love B-raw, awesome. But it is all that comes at a cost.
Yeah.
And
Now,
in this scenario,
they might get
early
better.
in, I don't know if it's
they might practice it and get better. I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
like, this is the moment that you wouldn't want Blackmagic for, and if you really insist on using it, you got to nail it. I also would say definitely stand on the other side. Don't shoot into your other camera like that.
Yeah, that's a easy fix.
Yes. All right, moving on. We get to kind of the end of the ceremony.
And the height, does it come? Does it bring it?
Their life.
I do.
Zach, you may kiss your bride.
Do we get any energy? Let's see.
That's what I'm waiting for.
It's a little slow for me right so
May
far.
I introduce
Yeah.
to you Mr. and Mrs. Zachary Adam Stuffer.
Nature's procuring, there's no need for doubt in his mind. And our eyes align like the sun through the pines in a silent space, in a cup full of time. In these holy ways, I let go of my hand in the jar. For the great moon in the middle
kind of.
June, falling up to the polar tide. Though I've seen it before, and I've never been told. Can touch
Dude.
this feeling inside. I let go of my hand in the jar.
All right. So, what do you like about
I don't
the
like
film?
that ending.
I didn't like that.
Sorry, I'm just jumping ahead.
I thought that was weird. Okay, so why don't we just get straight to areas of improvement? Because I don't want to say it's a bad film. I think there's plenty of things that are totally fine.
I will
about it.
say one. So I think there are other positives for sure. One positive that I for sure want to point out. Again, I was a little distracted throughout this a little bit. Is that look when I see that people are going to shoot on Blackmagic, and this guy's shooting 24 the whole time. Like I was preparing myself for the shakiest of shaky footage. Now, was there shaky footage at times where I think he was using it inappropriately? Trying to be on a gimbal where he wasn't, taking lots of steps, yes, those need improvement. But in a general sense, I think it was, the movement was fine. Not the movement, but the subtle camera shape.
Yeah,
look. I thought it could have been a lot worse.
To me, that's a look. So this is what I'm going to say about it. You didn't totally botch the camera movement like you can, so that's good. It could have been a disaster. It wasn't. The thing I feel is, why are you shooting handheld? Like, there was nothing, I didn't find anything about it that actually said handheld shooting. Like there was none of the personality that would come, and the pacing, it didn't feel like grounded or anything. So I'm going to give one really serious, like a very straightforward criticism that take or leave, but I think there's actually not much going on in this film. There's like lots of really protracted moments that are kind of marginally interesting. Like to me, like starting out like with this prayer and it goes on for like a minute. And then there's
it's
like
a very slow moving film and
like almost a minute for them to drive out in the car. Like there's like, it was only 5-minute film.
Yeah.
And it was like, I felt like there was just not much in the film. And I don't fully understand why. It was missing almost all establishing shots, I think. It was missing almost all detail shots. I don't recall hardly seeing any couples portraits.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because you were there the whole day. I think what I would say is, to me, and again, I could be wrong. Actually, I want to read the review, but to me, this screams Yeah, okay. So it's charged only 1,100 for the sake of booking and just wanting a wedding to shoot. So to me, again, this sounds like somebody who doesn't really shoot weddings, and
Or
maybe
at
they're
least
trying to
they're
get into it,
maybe they're trying to
or they're newer, or whatever.
rebrand, and they wanted something to
Yeah.
try the new style on.
And so I get that. I mean, but yeah, I look personally. I would tell this person to ditch the Black Magics, and I would tell them to focus on some more intentionality behind their storytelling.
And they
Like
need a
those
lot. They need a lot more coverage.
Yeah.
Like there's almost no dance floor.
Yeah.
And also those Black Magics do not like the oversaturated LED lights. You gotta be everything about shooting with those cameras is like you got to give them what they want, and they will return beautiful results. But like, hey, if you want to push through it, I wouldn't necessarily agree with Bobby. If you want to push through it, and get good at it, get good. But I would say you do have other things to worry about. And I think the number one thing is you are a pretty good shooter. I think you should have a gimbal. I don't personally. I think not having a gimbal at a wedding is just. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the just.
I have a gimbal at every wedding, but I'm also selective with when I use it. That's what I would tell people. I think you are too.
There's no better way to shoot. Welcome to this property, or check out this beautiful room I'm in, or like there's just certain things that look good on a gimbal, and I would say,
and those things are called establishing shots.
Yes, and there's missing all that, and then I think the music going for 10 minutes, which is really slow, really boring, and then kind of kick. I just felt like it just lacked serious pacing.
You know what I would tell this person actually, and I've considered doing this. If you like the Black Magic, use it as your main cam in selective instances, but get another cam to run on a gimbal. Get another cam to run here and there with some random stuff. Like I've thought about bringing up Black Magics. I had one for a while. I had it all rigged out for couples portraits. Like a few of those really hyper controlled where I, again, like you said, I can give it what the camera wants. I'm gonna really reap the benefits of it.
My opinion,
but I don't have to use it in every scenario.
I actually I like to use them as my tripod cameras. I have three of them. We just because you can just roll forever, and I just plug a V mount battery into them.
Yeah.
And
literally roll.
Shoot
forever.
SSDs and you just roll forever. You have no issues. They're wonderful cameras. I've shot some incredible weddings handheld. If you want to push through the results, but I think there's some storytelling and just learning the wedding coverage game.
Yeah,
is more important than I think learning to use a Black Magic. So
for sure.
Keep going though. Keep going. So let's talk about this Google Drive issue.
Google Drive killing me.
So Bobby, I'm sure. How many? If in the chat, let us know if you've had just this issue with the unlimited storage tier, or just Google Drive in general in the last year or so. But Bobby, what has been your issue?
So my issue is that I have Google Drive. I don't know what I have. I should know that. I want to say I have 25 terabytes, let's say, on there, which is a lot, but it's not insane, right? Been a part of Google Drive Unlimited Storage, putting that in quotes now, for a few years. I back up all my weddings there. That's how I communicate with my editors. That's how I send raw footage to the couple, I guess. I don't send final films that way. Some commercial clients, I go that way. And I keep all the footage from all my weddings on there backed up forever because why not? And I'm paying for it. And that's what I was promised. And now myself and many other people in the industry and across multiple industries are being told, just kidding, we're no longer doing unlimited. You have 60 days to get your storage down to 5 terabytes.
Yes.
Which is a big problem.
Yes. So I recently whoa, sorry about that. We have 450 terabytes.
Ouch.
In the cloud.
Well, I thought I was frustrated.
And the thing about it is we signed a contract with them for a couple years for our new business tier. And so I thought we would have to the end of our contract but they just rug pulled us, and they basically we got the same email a lot of you guys got, our storage pools being exceeded. So that sucks. So screw those people. And
well, Jay, I mean, they're a small company with a lot of startup costs, you know, and they just
so here's the thing. Like, I think our industry is about to have like a kind of a reckoning when it comes to just in general the cloud-based storage, because we're in the middle of, I talked to a rep from Dropbox. Now, I did talk to someone in Dropbox recently, or someone who's using Dropbox, and they're like, oh, there's no unlimited storage. Not really true. Dropbox still does have an unlimited storage tier. I called them and I was like, hey, someone told me this. Is this true that you don't have it? He's like, no, we do have it. But here's what's happening. So many people have had to switch off of Google Drive to go to Dropbox that Dropbox doesn't have enough servers.
Yep.
And so they are not they're not able to open up the amount of storage you need right when you need it. And you can request. Now, you could still get it, but like we did the math on our end, and like for our amount of storage, you could technically get whatever you want from Google Drive, but they were going to charge us like $13K a month.
Dang.
And this is what's ridiculous. They're charging 50. I don't know what they're thinking, because they're charging like to get 50 terabytes. It's something like $300. Meanwhile, like it's the most expensive storage on the internet now. Yeah, basically, yeah. It's so crazy. So I wonder how many people
just want to like get out of that game. Like, are they just like, meh?
They might just be the first shoe to drop. And I think this is the question for the industry: is cloud-based storage a legitimate strategy for filmmakers? It's weird to say that, because you think that would become the norm, right? Like how much cloud-based stuff? But I'm doing a demo, and I think I'm out of the NDA now. So we're doing product tests for Fujifilm for the new camera to cloud grip that they make. Camera to cloud, I think, is a protocol designed by Frame, and a bunch of camera manufacturers are starting to develop for it. And basically, you shoot, it goes to some kind of
cloud.
Well, it goes to Frame. It goes to
Frame.io.
Frame.io. If you haven't used that, then
awesome tool,
you should use it. But here's the deal. I remember when I'm in the test with the companies, I said, listen, I don't understand, though, the storage amount you're giving me. You're giving me 3 terabytes. I think it was 4 terabytes. I'm like, I can't do crap with 4 terabytes long term. It might have been 2. It might have been 2 terabytes, because it was something that, like, potentially, say they were like, oh, we want everyone to just be shooting on this all the time. You're going to fill that up in like 3-4 weddings. And me, with my company, we might shoot 8 weddings in a weekend. I might have 3.5 terabytes a weekend. Yeah. And so imagine if you're shooting like some really crazy, like, codec in a commercial setting. So I think the issue here is like, the internet is not actually suited for video. The same issue, like we've seen this with publications, when you want to be featured by like Martha Stewart or Brides magazine in the wedding industry, and they just won't put your videos up because they don't want to mess with the fact that hosting is a pain, and they might like remove it. So I'm always interested when everyone goes, it's all about video. It's all about video. Except for actually storing video or putting it anywhere. And like, it always seems like if you're actually in the video industry, whether it be nobody wants to put your video up in case the hosting dies, or this company wants to get you as a client, but they want to give you 4 terabytes, which is not useful for wedding filmmakers. Like, you know, or a situation like Google Drive where they just rug pull you. Like, to actually for us to get out of it, we ended up fighting with them and negotiating, saying, you gave me a contract. You have to honor your contract. Like,
yeah.
Like I can't just switch this as soon as you want me to. And I did talk to Dropbox, and they assured me that they can migrate my 450 over, and they will do that. If you're on Google Drive, if you call Dropbox, they will migrate your footage for you.
Nice.
And it might take a while is what they told me. They're like, listen, we just need to get more servers, blah, blah, blah. It might take a month, 2 months. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. I can live with
Wait,
that.
450 terabytes is going to take a while?
Because they don't have enough server space. So they're slowly allocating. But
yeah, I actually just, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And it's frustrating. And it's right. I mean, it is right in wedding season. Like of all the times of the year that they had to do this.
Well, it's frustrating because it's one of those things where what's up? We're talking about Google Drive 87 and Smith and getting rid of their unlimited storage.
What's up?
We don't. You want to? This is what I'll tell you guys. If you want to charge money for wedding filmmaking, and you're wondering,
I do want to do that.
I do too. I like charging money for it. If you're wondering how to produce value and explain things to people, the fact that it's not for like you have a lot of costs associated with your wedding filmmaking, and like really tracking them. If you don't explain them to people, it's fine, but track them and allocate them out by the amount of weddings you want to shoot, and add that to your. Say you're charging $3,000 right now, and you're like, I got to buy this thing. It's going to cost me $1,000 a year for unlimited storage. Because I think it'll cost you $75 for unlimited Dropbox because you have to get 3 users, right?
Wait, 75 a user or 75 total?
Total, because you have to get 3 users, so it's $24 a user.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad, but no cheap wedding filmmakers, the freaking people will complain about everything. So, like, if I told them, like,
Music Bed wants to charge me $700.
Yeah,
let's go back to the days where I licensed for $100 a song.
Yeah, they would like. Yeah, it's like you could buy 3 hard drives.
You want to tangent. You want to know how somebody has been in the industry like less than 5 years? Watch them complain about the annual cost of a music bed membership. Hot take.
Yes. So like you'll be paying like $1,000 a year, essentially, for Dropbox at the minimum. But just take that $1,000. Divide it by 25 weddings and add that to your package prices. Take your music bed membership, divide it by 25 weddings, add it. But like cost of doing business, I think that's the one little business rant is like you should be charging for this stuff, and it does cost you money. I think
Kyle, you pay $300 a month for Dropbox for unlimited.
I would say call them up, man.
Yeah, that seems high. That's more than Google high.
Well, I think what it is they probably have a different business.
Oh, yearly. That makes a lot more sense.
Oh, no. Yeah, that will be ending for you, my friend. Sorry.
Bad news. Welcome to the Bad News Club.
That'll be ending
where we ruin your dreams.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that'll be fine, but...
Oh, no, yeah, that makes sense. Split with 2 other people. So that's the 3 users. So, whatever. We're in the same realm.
Yeah, I'm getting
Stop confusing us.
I'm getting the advanced plan, which has no throttling on your uploads and, like, all that stuff. So,
like that.
So I think the biggest thing that we need to think about is what are we going to do when all these companies start doing the same thing Google Drive is doing to us? And is that the inevitability? What do you think, Bobby?
Okay, what will I do? I don't know because I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do right now. Do I think that all of them will eventually do this? That is a good question. I don't know the answer. Part of me thinks yes. Part of me thinks that for whatever reason, if Google is raising rates, stopping unlimited, trying to get out of the game, whatever they're trying to do, if Google isn't going to do it, it kind of makes me wonder how somebody else, like, nobody has more ability to research and do things at the lowest cost and whatever than Google, right? So, so if they aren't or can't or won't, I would be shocked kind of if somebody else could long term. So that worries me because what I don't want to do is migrate over to Dropbox and then in a year I'm in the same spot. Mm-hmm. And if that does happen, if we see all these cloud platforms either making it prohibitively expensive or canceling altogether. I don't really know. I don't know the other solution. I guess I would have to go back to my, hard drive bay setup.
I have a solution.
Oh, I want to hear it.
So if you don't know, the internet has a lot of different things and what you're actually paying for.
That is true. There's lots of things.
Lots of things on here if you didn't know that. But when it comes to cloud-based storage, Cloud-based storage is complicated because what you're really paying for is access to the footage, immediate access in the queue, right? You can get services that actually are cold storage that are very, very, very slow. You can upload, like, for instance, if you haven't heard of Amazon Glacier. Amazon Glacier is 0.00011 cents per gigabyte.
Amazon Glacier is the coldest storage option.
That's why they named it that. They did.
Yeah.
So like we did the math. I think it was like $300 a year max for 450 terabytes. Now the negative is you can only access it, I think, twice a year.
Ooh.
And it takes like sometimes 30 to 60 days to download a file.
One file?
Yeah, very slow. It's cold storage because they're basically using the scraps of all the storage on the servers, and it's complicated. So one of those things is I think that's gonna become a reality in the world now, is long-term digital asset
what's
storage.
The point of that though?
Because
like, how does if I have to take 30 days to download one file and I can only access files twice a year? How is that even? Why not just put it on hard drives?
I think everyone's going to have hot storage and cold storage. So like weddings that are older than 4 years, stuff you don't want to delete, but you don't need. Like it would be like putting it in a storage facility in downtown.
You know what it would be like? Putting in a freaking time capsule to be opened in 40 years when it finishes downloading.
I'll tell you this. I'm probably going to do it for all my weddings that are older than 3 years. And I'm going to
like cryogenically freezing your files.
You can change it and pay like 3 times more. You can get it like you can access it in immediate access.
You can access it 4 times in a year.
Yeah, you can do a bunch of things. But I think it's one of those things where filmmakers are going to need to probably come up with cold storage solutions and hot storage solutions, because like if you're doing this for 30 years, nobody's going to be able to it'd be like having a warehouse of every project you ever did if it was a physical thing. Like you couldn't keep everything in your studio. Like it's actually unreasonable to say like just because you can't see it, it's taking up a server, it's taking up space. And I think this is just the long-term reality, is like having to bounce between these different cloud-based solutions. And I would we're looking at, I'm looking at maybe, I don't know, building an API or something for filmmakers that would make it easier to interact with some of those archival, because they're a little weird to use.
Yeah, I assume a lot of what you're using is the intuitive, user interface.
Yeah.
Right?
And speed. You're paying for speed. You're paying for the fact that they're going to have an app and a browser-based thing and a phone app and an API for your NAS and all these different things. These guys are more like, do you want to store it cheaply forever? Here's this. Like, they're not going to rug pull you, whatever. And it's more for servers. And I think, yeah, I don't really personally love Backblaze.
I don't get, so Backblaze, you have to plug in your hard drive every 2 weeks, although I heard they're moving that possibly to annually, so that would be nice. But so I have to keep all the same stuff on that hard drive, and what if I have 2 hard drives? Like, somebody explain this to me.
I mean, it's cool. I don't think that's what it is. I think it will allow you to, it's a good product. It's a good product. It's not the same as Google Drive or Dropbox. That's the thing. But it's a good
Well, you
product.
also can't send it. It's strictly backup. It's not a, I can't send to my editor from Backblaze.
No, Backblaze, but think of it this way. It's 0.005 versus 0.00011 for the per gigabyte price.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not to say that it's nothing, but it's way more expensive than Amazon.
So basically, let's all petition Google to not do this to us, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
So hey, it's just a thing to talk about. If you're out there listening and you're riveted by storage talk,
yeah, what an interesting conversation.
This
might be the video that goes viral.
Here's what I'm going to tell everybody. The difference between a professional wedding filmmaker is not the footage, but it's how they treat their footage. Like professional wedding filmmakers take this stuff seriously. If you want to be in the game for any level of time, whatever. I'm glad you're shooting all that stuff. That's great. How you handle it professionally, treating it like an actual business asset, is important. We've even considered possibly basically charging our clients to store their footage forever. Hey, every year we're gonna.
That's pretty common in the commercial world.
Yeah, we'll keep it. $20 a year. We'll store it in Amazon Cloud. You want to access it? It's gonna take 90 days.
Yeah. And
I have over 1,000 clients. So, I think this
adds up.
This is what I'll tell everybody. Think about ways that your clients can pay for this for you, because you're providing a service for them. And I think this is just going to be in the next couple years, we're all as an industry going to need to grow up in this area, because we're all I want to shoot 14K. We all want to shoot these giant files, and SSDs are cheaper than ever. And do it times 30 weddings times 8 years and put it somewhere and tell me how great it is.
Here's my plan, Jay. This is my current plan, which could change after this discussion. But if I can't get Google to extend or whatever, I will probably do the following. I will go through my Google Drive. I will reach out to every wedding client, past wedding client, probably older than 2 years ago, I would say, that's on there, and offer them their raw footage with the caveat. Look, I have it on a hard drive somewhere. I'm not going to delete it off that. But this is kind of your last chance. Google's getting rid of unlimited storage. I'm not going to keep paying for it. If you want it, I'll give you 20% off, whatever. I'm also going to reach out to all my commercial clients and pitch kind of what you said. Moving forward, if you want me to keep the raw footage from this for future projects, there's going to be an annual fee. And then I'm going to probably move back to my, my 4 drive bay or whatever. And I'm going to keep Google Drive. I think in a wedding season, for me, again, this is for me, I could store my current wedding season on Google Drive and not.
Yeah, that's probably.
Or Dropbox or something like that. And then,
that's probably our plan. I think. And this, I'll give everyone this quick little warning. I think you should avoid user-based storage allocation and go account-based storage allocation. If you have any kind of company, it drives me nuts if it's user-based. It's you have $10 per user. Oh, you buy this plan. It's a 50 terabyte plan, 5 users. So wait, okay. I need to 10. Yeah, I need to go and upload 10 on this guy and 10 on this.
This is Jason McCutcheon1 at gmail.com.
Oh,
Jason
so
McCutcheon
annoying.
2 at gmail.com.
I would say Scott Film Company, there's totally a lot of things wrong with having every single thing on a physical drive. Really not a great strategy. Trust me.
It's just tough. It's tough because we got so used to this and the safety and the security and all the benefits of cloud storage, and now we have to either revert and feel anxiety about it. And
I think we just need to charge for it.
Season.
Here's what I'll say: if these companies will provide a solution, even if it's expensive, I won't overly complain. Because if
it's attainable and I can pass it on to my clients.
Yeah, you pass it on to your client.
If it's $13,000 a month,
no, that's ridiculous. But I'm saying a reasonable alternative that I can pass on to my clients. And I think this is just going to go more into, hey, wedding filmmaking, if you're serious and you're doing this at any kind of level, I would say, okay. So first of all, I understand that cloud-based storage is physical drives somewhere, but I'm telling you, their protocols are constantly striping it and putting it all over the world versus, versus just 2 sitting in your house. And so, and also the cost of buying these physical drives over the course of a year is insane. You're going to spend so much money. Probably, it's just, I'm telling you guys, at the beginning of your career, it's fine. But once you're fully booked and you're shooting 3-day weddings and all this stuff, the cloud stuff becomes pretty important. It really is important. Yeah, that's that. So let's watch a film.
Let's do it.
What do we got next?
Up next, we have Troy Warwick from Warwick Adventure. Shot on the Canon R6. No difficulties of note. First time submitting.
I love
for
how everybody thinks, by the way,
review.
that we are suggesting that there were difficulties. They always like tell us there's nothing went bad. I'm like, we could have been good things. Could have been good things.
Just give us the info. Here's what went well. I crushed it. All right. This is the Forest package, which is a highlight ceremony and full speeches.
I edit this in the forest.
Yeah, this is where I go into my forest place.
It's the most inspired film.
Well, Chris, this is about storage and drones. If you backtrack a little bit, we're doing conversations and wedding films. Paired nicely.
Yeah,
and
I'll say
presented
this.
in a beautiful package for you.
We're trying to figure out, we want to tweak the show a little bit and do some issues plus film reviews. Hence the title of the video. But we always do film reviews on Wedding Film School Live. That's a staple of our show. If you would like your film reviewed, go to weddingfilm.school and submit your film, and we will be happy to review it.
It's top.
It's pinned to the top,
Right.
and members get priority. And we're going to be about 2 minutes of the film, so here's the film.
Yeah, let's be quick on these 2 minutes. Let's try to get through a bunch here.
Yes,
we got this.
let's
I
go.
believe in us.
choose you. Out of all the guys on
That's
this
a cool
crazy
room.
dating app I was trying out for the first time, you stood out, and so I reached out. I chose you then, and I pretend choosing you every day. So, but darling, the thing is, choosing you has been the easiest decision that I've ever had to make. And I cannot promise that it's always going to be easy, but I can promise to keep choosing you.
Whoa. That was very Frozen people.
Cold storage people.
I promise to honor.
All right, let's jump. We're at a minute-ish. Oh, I like that shot.
You should stabilize it.
Let's find the.
Let's find the turn.
Transition. Yeah. Probably around.
You gotta cut that audio, man. Like, you can't have it. The cars.
All right, let's go to the end. See some hype and
Very
Kyle, one of the
demanding.
best sprays I've seen.
And every single birthday.
That's
Yeah, they never actually
We've
work.
shared a womb. We've
What is
shared
going
a-
on with her? She's glowing.
Oh, don't worry, guys. We haven't shared the
What
groom.
is that? Okay, let's do this. What do we like about it? What don't we like about it? And guys, we know that we didn't see the full film, but we're just doing it based quick hits. The same way your clients do it.
I like some of the structure to the film. I like that there's some hype at the end. I think I pointed out a couple specific shots I like. So I think there is like a decent understanding of. I think some of the ones I really liked were the detail shots. So when you have control, it looks like you. I still think there's room for improvement there, but you're really on the right track with some of those controlled environments and setting up some cool stuff. And yeah.
Okay, I think that the color is all over the place. I think.
I thought we were saying things we like.
I didn't like much about it.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. Okay, go.
It's
Then I'll
fine.
go.
It's fine, but I think at the end of the day, like if you make these changes, then I'll like a few things.
Sure.
It's hard for me to overlook. Like that shot. I like that shot. I like
Yeah.
that. That looks cool. But a lot of it, like you have this color and then you have like this gray color, and like it's just really distracting to me. Like, and then there's like a lot of
there's even in the intro with the vows being, or her vows, the two different cameras there. I there's got to be two cameras being used, right?
Yeah, there has.
So he
to
said
be.
R6. Is it two R6s? This would be helpful. We don't have the info. They look very different.
There's just gray skin tones throughout the film, and and it just looks very unflattering. I don't like the way they started the film with just like, blah. She's just
You're
talking
just right there. Yeah.
You know, I just think in general, there's also a lot of moments that are just too protracted and drawn out. Like, I don't need to see him walk down that whole aisle.
So one of the things for me, even this is a little smaller, is like the intro or the vows in the beginning. I kind of like that shot.
You okay? I'm gonna give him this. I like the way he lit his dances a lot. They look great.
We didn't see those originally. So yeah. So the vows, like there's these pauses where I think she's sniffling, crying. You know, she's gathering herself, right? But we don't see that, and so they just sound like weird pauses that exist. I would cut those gaps out and make it sound a little more cohesive.
I'm gonna say
and
this.
Then, color for me was the biggest.
If you want to improve, the biggest things I'll tell you are fix your color, whether it be your camera settings or just the way you're grading it. You should just have a consistent look throughout your film. Watch your skin tones between cameras, all that good stuff. Fix that. And then I think also in your edit, if you're not giving yourself enough footage and B-roll to cut a more interesting film, shoot more. Give me more details. Give me more, like, there again, no establishing shots.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say. The intro is an establishing shot, and it is. I do not like that shot. I don't even know if I'd put it in the film. I don't think it looks great, and it certainly wouldn't be the first shot.
Just keep going. I know.
Next film. But yeah, I mean, you're on the right track.
What's up, our buddy? We love Adam Grumbo. Great film.
Laid back, fun, no real plan. Trailer. Is this the trailer or the 12-minute?
Filmmaker of the Year, Adam Grumbo.
It is our honor.
It's our honor. Can I even criticize Adam? Am I allowed?
I think this film deserves filmmaker.
He won it on Love Stories TV.
My ears are so hot. I know I look ridiculous right now with my headphones.
I think you should grow up, dude.
It's too hot. It's too hot in my office.
Grow up. Here we go. Adam Grumbo. Very good filmmaker. Also, look, 3 minutes for the film.
We tease, but we actually are very proud.
No, I'm not teasing.
Out with that guy.
That was great.
I'm just like, I like.
Look at his skin tones.
Oh, Ryan.
Always
so
good.
I'd like to welcome you to
Whoa,
the
where
Wheeler
is
family.
this?
It takes incredible
Adam,
guts
where is
to
this?
join such a big family, and even more to change your last name.
The groom is coming. You're not supposed to upstage the bride.
Was that a real human? Hold on a second. I gotta just.
You're not supposed to upstage.
Austin.
Whoa, dude. So they're being funny, but that dude is huge. That's good for him.
Boots make the outfit.
Good for him.
1980 submachine gun, ready to rock and roll.
This is gonna get censored by YouTube.
Thanks, Adam.
There we go, Savion.
Everyone that traveled long and far to get here, I just want to say thank you. Without you, my sister would never have been able to spend the last bit of me, Nolan, and Tyler's inheritance.
I'd like to welcome you to Caitlin and Ryan's version of a nice, small, intimate wedding. I don't know how we got here, folks, but we sure had a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, let's skip to the
making the commitment.
Let's skip forward a little bit.
What an honor to be here in this place.
So what you're gonna see with him, I would consider Adam a master, And what you're going to see with a master is they're going to give you that intimacy and that sense of place. What a lot of people who maybe don't have their storytelling down, and especially with portrait work, they're kind of like locked into one distance or one focal length. And I love that he's doing those close-up shots, and they're intentional. You're seeing the ring. Like, if I can show the ring on the bride, I like it so much better than. And there's nothing wrong with a ring shot, but like this is just good storytelling. So
Celebrate it.
that's why we're watching a little more of it.
Ryan and Caitlin making the commitment to tie their lives together in front of the people that matter most to them in this world.
They just make each other better people, and I think that's what relationships are all about, bringing out the best in one another.
I believe that there's one.
Where's the bridal
we can all
entrance?
give.
We're being
Nice to
told
be
we cannot
here.
skip
Nice to
it,
be
Jay.
here.
Oh.
Create beautiful memories that these two amazing people.
Oh, let's
will
go
carry
find
with
it.
them into
Okay.
Oh.
Here we go.
I called it.
Ryan. He's a nice guy.
Adam, you need to be
worker.
vertical
See this guy
clipping
move
this
furniture.
for
I mean,
viral.
he's like a one-man wrecking ball.
Unless you haven't or have already. Sorry. That's good stuff.
That's funny. I was right after. I just missed it. Let's get to the party part and just get a sense of.
There's nowhere else to be.
So this is a single song, which I think is fine.
Lovers don't find each other, they're inside each other all along. And I feel like you guys embody that.
This place is like magical. It really is. It's a special, special place. I love you guys so much. I'm so honored to have another daughter.
Very solid.
Love it.
And I think that it just honestly, like, not to minimize, because Adam is certainly but it's like those are like the weddings minus the cat entrance. Those are like the weddings I shoot almost every weekend, Bobby. Like that that's just kind of the vibe. And you know, when you're shooting these things, you're just kind of, it's all about people having a good time. And I would say what I like about this film is that's what comes across.
Yep.
People having a good time. It's a little casual, a little fancy, a little romantic, a little fun. You know, it's kind of, if you know Adam too, he's big into nerd culture. He's got a sense of humor. And I think not only does a couple's personality come across, but Adam's sensibilities come across. And I think that's a great thing. Is if you're a filmmaker, I think that was a GoPro on the end of that muzzle, by the way. If you're a filmmaker and your films, they don't ring true, they don't come across, you know, try to integrate your personality into what you're doing and into your brand. And I think it does a great job about that, this film.
Yeah, I think you keep this energy throughout the whole film, which I think can be really hard to do. The song choice was excellent and played a role in that, but obviously the way you put together the shot played a role in that too. Really, really strong at capturing who the couple was, and also just at like really putting together a lot of, like Jay mentioned, it's a little fun, it's a little fancy, it's a little on the range shooting machine guns, it's a little like nice reception, awesome dance. Like there's so many elements that are very different, and really weaving those together really, really well. And then also just like, great shots, but also so well shot and planned out. There's a lot going on here. You see the explosion shot from the ground. You see the GoPro on the muzzle. You see a drone up getting the explosion. You see all this coverage of her coming in on this cat. Like, there's a lot.
Well, and look at this. This is the other thing you're going to see with someone who knows what they're doing.
Really good framing.
Where are the cameras?
They're done.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're there, but it's not just like this sticking out and like ruining all his drone shots. And like, it's just Adam is a good filmmaker, but he's an even better wedding filmmaker. If you want to know like the difference, it's like they know how to cover the moments of a wedding. They know how to capture it. They know how to piece it together. This is a good example. The only thing I would say about this film as a criticism is I do feel like some of the color is a little all over the place. It could just be the compression in YouTube. There were some parts where I was like losing the detail and just feeling like it was like right here. Like this shot to me is underexposed. Maybe that, but it could just be getting crushed by YouTube. And then I think the biggest thing, I would never normally say this, Bobby, but I'm wondering if I kind of wanted it to be longer and have a little more dynamics.
Well, I have great news for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a 16-minute film of this if you want to review it in your spare time. Or 12-minute or something. Also, Adam's saying he ran 12 cameras for the ceremony.
Yeah.
Unless he's kidding.
Knowing Adam, he's very extra when it comes to camera coverage, but I think
it delivered and it paid off well.
Yeah, I think like for sure the longer film I think is going to tell the story a lot better, and that's a sign of something pretty solid. Like I'm watching this going, I want some I want to know more about these people. So in that case, it's probably effective, and what it did. So that's my only
wrong. 12-minute. My bad, guys. I'm off by 4.
Yeah, I think that 12-minute film is probably even better, honestly. And I normally wouldn't say that, but I watch this and I'm like, yeah, but what about this and what about this? And like that's probably the point, right? So that's my only criticism. I want it to be longer.
I don't really have a lot of criticism for this. I think this is an excellent display of filmmaking and giving what the couple gives you and leaning into that.
It's kind of wedding filmmaking 101.
Yeah.
Put the couple first.
And really elevating. Like this wasn't an ugly wedding or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. But like,
great.
I think Adam really elevated what this wedding was too. And like really drew out the best of the best.
There's a reason why he's an expert in our group.
That's right.
He is an expert. I gotta have him on the podcast. I don't know why I haven't had him on the podcast. You should come on.
Do it.
Come on my podcast, Adam.
Adam, please.
Please do it.
Please.
But yeah, really cool. Thank you so much. That's an honor to show it to people, and hopefully you guys liked it. And if you want to watch the full version, just head over to Adam and Adam's link. I'm assuming he posted it, or did he not post it?
Yeah, hit him up. He said, "Hit me up if you want to see the full."
Yeah, do that, guys. Do that for sure. And he also has a bunch of cool education that you should check out. So,
also that.
So this is Brian Zuckerman. Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, I've seen this go around. Okay, I've seen him talk about this. This is his most expensive wedding film ever.
Is this that one? The one that...
$28K.
This is the $28K one? I've been wanting to talk about this one.
Going a bit off script, I wanted to read you my vows from this notebook. A journal
Are they in a tent?
You gave me
I was
to
looking
facilitate
away.
a dream.
Or is that sky?
It's
kind of tent.
And my creativity in a way that no one else ever had before. I don't know if you know this about me, but I like to tell
Can you
stories.
still not see anything? Hey, they can't see anything.
Oh,
They can't see
my bad.
anything.
So far, it's been really good, guys. You got trust me on this. When I cut over back to it, you're gonna love it. See this frame? It's so blue. Okay, so this guy's creativity needs to be seen. That's all I know. So.
Can you see it now?
Of course they can. That was just a dumb mistake by me.
All right,
Going
we're
a
seeing
bit off
shots
script,
of a groom.
I wanted to read you my vows from this notebook. A journal you gave me to facilitate a dream. To see me and my creativity in a way that no one else ever had before. I don't know if you know this about me, but I like to tell stories. I like to paint a picture of the life that I experience. It's probably the most powerful way to celebrate a memory, and possibly one of the only ways that I know how to communicate.
Let's move on.
Onward.
And you don't think I'm gonna be here for another 2 days, but I'm here, and I'm on my way to see you, and I'm running back to the plane so I can see you. I'm so excited. I love you. I can't wait to see you.
There's a light. There's a light.
Ugh. What is up with that color?
Blue. We're skipping around. We're skipping around.
Is this okay, if it's action, am I just not cool enough for that? That look.
That's the shot you get when you wear really cool sunglasses when you shoot.
Okay.
Let's keep moving. Let's watch some more instead of just wandering around. Dang, jumping in those heels.
I like that. I like that shot. Yeah, let's see the next frame. Oh boy. Oh.
Greatest
To the
moments to
ending.
come.
So I think there's a lot to like in the film. I think Brian.
How long is this film?
This one is 7
Roughly,
minutes, so
I
we're
can't see.
skipping
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
But I've seen it before, so a lot of good shots in there. A lot of I like even something like I really liked like just doing that handheld or this shot right here. A lot of like
I love that shot.
The more like intimate looking things, I really liked a lot of that stuff. I liked what's funny is there are times where I really like the color in this film actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of like I feel torn throughout the film a lot. I really like this leaning into like I think in certain scenarios leaning into these like creative shots like that shot that we both liked of the journal and writing.
Yeah, he's clearly trying to like tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know the exact, or I don't know the exact context. I haven't watched this full film and we jumped around, but I love whenever you can kind of intertwine something else, right? So there's this other storyline, I think, of her surprising him. That's kind of as far as I understood from the bits and pieces we watched.
Well, just including their personalities and some.
Yeah,
ways like
well,
that.
exactly. It helps really connect to the couple and their story.
I like I think I like a lot of the portrait work. I mean, I think there's he was trying, like, I could see he was trying super hard to do a great job for the couple. And there's a fair amount
and the couple's going to love this. I think, well, they did love this, right?
Yeah.
So.
And that's a cool horn. I think there's a lot in here to like. The biggest thing for me is I don't like a lot of the color. I don't.
Yeah, there's some really interesting color and some exposure stuff. I think this is a tough. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, Jay, but tents like that are just sometimes hard. But I'll tell you this: if I was getting paid this much for a wedding, I would have somebody, an assistant, literally dedicated to just a fill light for me. Like, there's a lot of times where, like, when they're cutting the cake, it's really dark. There's a lot of just, like, really dark stuff where I'm like, I wonder if you just had a little light on them, if that would help.
Well, I wonder if the majority of the cost was the amount of days.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
plus
Like, if
the
it's
travel.
3 days or whatever and travel, like,
it looks like 4 days of shooting plus travel plus editing plus. It doesn't mean that it's cheap. It's clearly like, but it's not like a 30
also
K
like
for a day.
Don't get me wrong. Like, you can make the worst film in the world if you find a way to charge $30K for, like, I don't care. That's good for the industry. Good for you.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying this is the worst film.
No, no sour grapes. I'm psyched for this person. I just don't like the underexposed.
I think there was 3 or 4 days of shooting.
Yeah, it was definitely.
We don't have like exact details, but like.
I think the underexposed and blue color grades are just not acceptable to me. I hate how they look. Like, me personally, I hate how they look. It looks like a mistake. Other than that, I think it's pretty solid and a lot of really nice looking stuff. I would say I feel it's a little too close a lot throughout the film, and I would have probably appreciated a lot more wide shots throughout the film. It's everything is like either a macro close up or a mid at the most, but like almost everything's a close up throughout the whole film, which is not the best to me. I think what wide shots are really what to me make a wedding look high end.
I think well executed wide shots are. I think we've talked about this. Kind of there's a lot more in frame you have to worry about and think about, and when they're done really well, I think it does elevate. Yeah, so
Yeah,
and kind of like it shows me like high end.
Someone
like,
has
look
the
at someone like
courage,
Ray's
exactly.
shots, or
Alex,
or yeah.
A super wide shot is saying, I got nothing to hide. And not only that, I want to show you this world. It invites you into the world. I couldn't really tell if they were in like the Caribbean or in like North Carolina.
That's actually a good point too. Yeah. I mean, we know it's water, we know it's, but I mean, so much just depends on the day too. Like what,
even her dress, like she has all the pink on it, right? You really can't tell most of the wedding.
I didn't notice it.
Because they didn't give me that nice shot where I could see the whole dress. So I think those are my biggest criticisms is I think focal length choice and color, but I think there's also a lot of creativity and clearly a very skilled filmmaker. So
and just like good representation of the couple, which I think is one of the
important.
Yeah.
So good job,
for sure.
Good job, Brian, and good job getting yourself a good paying gig, and hopefully
getting a fat check.
Yes.
Maybe after expenses.
Yes. All right. So let's talk last film of the day. Here we go.
Yeah, I only got one more in me. I gotta go.
Me too.
If he were here, maybe Brian, if you watch this, we are getting requests to break down the 28K. Actually, you guys should search his name because I know that this has been let's say
mentioned
in
many
groups.
times.
Yeah. Oh, Max, you might be right. He charged $28. You're correct. My bad.
Charged $28. I would say they underpaid. Raise your prices, Brian.
Yeah. It is in the group somewhere, and I don't know for sure that he broke it down, but I have seen this pricing discussion come up, and I feel like he's
no shade to Brian. No shade to Brian, but I want to tell you guys, who cares what someone charges? It's actually irrelevant.
Unless you're charging it, it doesn't matter.
And also I've seen people who charge 10K who literally suck, and I've seen people charge 1,000 who are amazing.
We've seen it all.
Literally, some people are just schmucks and will pay money for anything. Like you can literally, there's like
sometimes it's just a connection, and they're like, "Hey, you do wedding films, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, they're 30."
They might not even like. It's not even that they're good at sales or anything. So don't just like. They got to do it time and time and time again. Then you know. Like if somebody's every weekend shooting a $15,000 gig, that's legit. So, So here we go. I already like the color. So, but it's Max.
Who is this? Oh, wow.
Max Smith from The Smiths, and this is a film apparently in someone's backyard. So let's watch it.
Max Smith, aka the 10K sucky guy.
10K suckhead. You punched.
Now is that pizza in triangles or?
I remember when it became official, I was so happy for you guys, and I remember
they put a little something in.
I think I want to.
They're handing out edibles.
You'd be stupid to let her go. Austin, you inspire me to be a better man every day. Brittany, I consider you one of my closest friends.
That guy was like mean mugged you. It's like, okay, we'll skip past this. I like the way he covered that though. That was fun. Okay, this is going to be really edgy. This is Vegas. Is that the Delano?
I don't know. Max says fast forward to the 5-minute mark.
I'm not going to do it. You tell me.
Laughter.
We're going to
as we
fast
embark
forward
on this
past
next
it.
chapter together.
I promise to be your companion in this life and in the next.
I love this film.
Even though there will never be enough time in this lifetime.
This is a good film.
If I had to live my life again, I'd find you sooner.
Oh, was it Red Rocks? That's cool. Was that Flavor Flav? Was that Flavor Flav at their wedding?
Max, tell us. We need to know. I didn't see it, but it is.
Is it?
Max says yes.
The story of your life together
Flavor Flav
is still yours to write. A vast unknown future stretches out before you. That future with its hopes and disappointments is hidden from your eyes.
Every time I see those shots where the couples are running towards each other, I always think the couple's just gonna run into each other. This is cool looking.
Wait, now he says no.
Yeah, it looks like
made a fool. I didn't see it.
Let's bring this in. Let's bring.
Yeah, let's see this part.
Did you not do a reverse on that wish sound one time? Because you could have done the woo through the whole film. You should have done that. Just editing tab. That's a cool film, dude. I like a lot of the stuff you're doing. I'm looking for one thing. Did they have a dance party?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem
the
like
reception was just kind of like a dinner in the backyard, I feel like.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it. So that's a bummer for you, because I think that would have been like the one thing I'm like, it's missing that big dance party where they're interacting in that way. I do think the portraits are great. So let's talk about what we loved about it. Clearly the color, clearly the way he shot portraits, and also great storytelling.
Max is one of the people who can, in my book, get away with this amount of movement on handheld footage.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
I don't know why either, but it just works for me.
I just always like his skin tone. Like great skin tones. That is the most important thing to me about wedding filmmaking, and honestly, is skin tones. So even they can be stylized and whatnot, but they need to be.
Well,
pleasing.
5 months later.
Okay. That's important to the story. So they did this thing here. They did like a.
They did a little backyard shindig.
Okay, so I'm gonna give
Vegas and they partied.
I'm gonna give one critique that I think. I think it could have used a little bit more, something edgier with the couple. I know they're kind of jumping on each other, doing kind of that thing. But if you wanted to use that song, that edgy, like that techno song, which I think was a fun decision, I'm wondering like what he could have put in there that would have given it a little more like high production kind of pop. Because I was wanting to watch people dance when I was listening to that, and that kind of kinetic
maybe like
motion.
a really like if you could be like, hey, I want an hour of just like I want to go into into a room or a studio and light you how I want to. With, like,
I think that would have been cool, and I think it would have made the film like bring a bunch of, like if you would have done nighttime with a bunch of like tube lights in the middle of the desert, or maybe went into a club with them or something. I felt like it was just this moment right here on steroids. I was wanting in the film. But other than that, I think it's one of his best.
But also some really of it is excellent. Like you have to take what's given to you.
100%.
Like it wasn't really a part of their day. So that's us just being like nitpicky.
Well, I'm more saying like I'm assuming that these people said, "Oh, come in and we're gonna do whatever you want."
Yeah,
that's kind of what it seemed like.
I freaking love the way Vegas was incorporated. I love the way it was introduced.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is a really
good job.
We watch bits and pieces of it. So.
Yeah, really good job. And I think it's one of those things where if you're working with couples who are going to give you the freedom to do stuff, well, then bring some good ideas to the table. And I feel like he actually did. And I mean, I don't know. He's just talented people working with good looking people who are in love. I mean, you can't lose.
What more could you want?
You can't lose.
People who are in love.
Yep.
And trust you.
Yep, it's great.
Uh,
So land the plane, brother.
All right. With that said, we are done for today. Okay, if we did not get to your film, I just want to, like, once and for all, we need to put this out there. If we did not get to your film, submit it again. Submit it right now. It will be in the queue. The queue is the wrong word, but it will be in our faces for next week. We will be back next week, Thursday, at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you learned something. Let us know in the comments or in the chat if you like this semi-new format where we're kind of talking, hey, news of the week. What's new? What's some new gear? What's some new things we're seeing interspersed with wedding films? We want to try to make this show a comprehensive weekly show for wedding filmmakers. And yeah, we'll get to more films next week. We're figuring it out, guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.